Call the Oglesby City Council meeting to order.
Here.
Aye.
Here.
Here.
Here. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I need a motion and second to approve the minutes of the August 16th, 2021 regular meeting.
I make a motion to approve those minutes from the August 16, 2021 regular meeting.
Second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Yasi.
Aye.
Rivara.
Aye. Public comments on agenda items only. Having none, we'll move on. I need a motion and second to approve the bills as presented for payment.
I'll make a motion to approve bills as presented for payment.
Second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Yasi.
Aye.
Rivara.
Aye. Presentation of the audit and financial overview from Hopkins and Associates, CPA. Samantha?
Thank you.
I, Samantha Casey from Hopkins and Associates, we did the city of Oglesby audit this year. Everything, the audit was prepared, you received an unmodified opinion. The audit was prepared, which basically says that it was prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Mainly, we are going to go through this handout, and it's just like a summary, of everything. So there's two spreadsheets with this letter. The first is a comparison of cash position as of April 30th, 2021, 2020, 2019, and 2018. The second is a comparison of fund income statements for the fiscal years ended 2020 and 2021. Overall, the cash position of the city of Oglesby increased by $3,052,977 from April 30th of 2020 to April 30th of 2021. From April 30th of 2017 to April 30th of 2021, the total cash balance of the city has increased by over $4.52 million, and the line of credit has been paid down to zero. The cash balance in unrestricted funds for the general electric, water, sewer, and sanitation increased by $2,493,807 during the year and ended up at $5,031,020 as of April 30th of 2021. At the end of 2020, At the end of 2021, inter-fund transfers were made to get fund balances in all funds to be positive. Cash in the restricted funds increased by $559,170 during the year. Next, we're going to do that financial analysis, which is the last page. Overall, the year ended, the city as a whole had a net profit of $3,272,234, compared to a net profit of $276,100 for the last fiscal year. The general fund had an operating loss for the fiscal year of 2021 of $153,632 prior to considering transfers in. This is down from a net operating loss in the prior year of $292,785. Net transfers in from other funds of $155,227 resulted in the general fund ending up with a profit of $1,595. Revenue in the general fund was $2,919,072 for 21 compared to $2,596,858 in 2020. The increase in revenue was due to a few major items. The city utility tax increase of 56,842. There was also a decrease in video gaming tax this year of 34,000 due to gaming being shut down for part of 2020. We've seen in most villages that when it opened back up, it kind of went back up to where it normally was, so you can kind of hopefully expect that for next year. There's also an increase in building permits due to your GTI expansion, which required a building permit of 74,000. Increase in state grants of 75,728 that the city received from the IDNR for a boat launch construction and additional grants for the police department. Federal grants increased by 151,953 for CURES money received. There was very little change in other city revenue accounts. Local and state tax money remained consistent with the prior year, as well as local fees, fines, and charges for services. General fund expenditures increased by 183,061 from the prior year. There was 175,000 increase in police salaries, which accounted for some of that increase this year. The electric fund had an operating profit prior to transfers of $1,644,392 for 2021 compared to $802,051 for 2020. Of this profit, $223,227 was transferred out to other funds to eliminate the negative fund balances. Mainly, the increase was due to the GTI expansion, requiring a large amount of new electricity. It was around $75,000 per month. In usage charges, so the purchase power adjustment also increased by about $240,000 due to the larger quantity. Also received a insurance reimbursement of $83,642 and a GTI reimbursement of $914,896. The water and sewer fund user fees also doubled due to that expansion, and I believe you increased your rates. Overall, the city had a good financial year and has gotten much better over the past few years. Unrestricted cash continues to grow, and the city is slowly rebuilding the reserves necessary to replace infrastructure in the future. This fiscal year, the city took out bonds of $1,380,000 to pay off other bonds outstanding. At the end of the fiscal year, the city had an outstanding long-term liability of $2,683,294. That is just a brief summary of everything that is on the next two pages. Do you have any questions?
Anybody?
I had one. I'm trying to think. Last year, I think one of these sheets of paper had basically the net positions on there that changed from the previous year. I don't see that here. Is that another piece of paper?
Pages attached to what?
Is that
Yeah.
is that in there somewhere? Is that in the things here? Because that's the thing I'm kind of curious.
Cash balances for the last
That's the next page.
3 or 4 years. The handout, Jason, the one that she just went through,
It shows the cash balance comparison.
the third page.
Oh, I didn't get that. Look at that. That's the one I'm looking for. That's not on this one.
Oh, it's not?
I think I took two of yours.
Oh, do you
There you go.
maybe have a different letter?
Nope, we
Okay.
had two of the same ones. We're good. Thank you.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking for.
No questions? Thank you for the presentations.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, next on the agenda is number 8, approve 090721R, a resolution of support and commitment of local funds for a Safe Routes to Schools grant.
So what this is again, this is the Safe Route to School program. It's for $250,000. There's a matching portion of 20%. So if we do get it, we'd be able to get $300,000 worth of basically sidewalks be able to put in to help kids get to the schools. We'd only be responsible for $50,000 of it. There is kind of a handout here of the proposed areas that we would be upgrading to be able to connect all the schools together for some of the areas that aren't connected right now. Does anybody have any questions on any of that? If not, I'd like to make a motion to approve 090721R, a resolution of support and commitment of local funds for a Safe Route to Schools grant.
I'll second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Next is approved 090721R1, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a revised administrative order on consent with the United States Environmental Protection Agency.
I can probably take that down. So, you may recall that at your August 2nd meeting, you authorized Don to sign an agreement of consent with the US EPA regarding the planning and construction of a new sewage treatment plant to prohibit them from enforcing actions against you between now and then. That took a considerable amount of time to negotiate, and at first it had very short dates in it, but with Don Whitby's help, we were able to get that extended much further out. The plant would have to be built by 2028 under that order and under the revised one that's going to be. So we approved it, Don signed it, we sent it back to the EPA's attorney, he sent it up the chain, and they had a few minor changes they wanted to make to the agreement. I received it, I shared it with Don looked at it, got back to me today and said he doesn't see any problems with it. The changes basically were to redefine what the Little Vermilion River was categorized as a navigable stream. That's of course where your sewage discharge emits to. And also they took all the dates that are specified, that were all lumped together in one paragraph. They broke them out into two paragraphs, didn't change a word in the language otherwise. And then they added a third paragraph that said the city of Oglesby agrees to abide by these dates. Those were the only changes made. So I have no problem in recommending to you that you approve Dom's signature on the revised agreed order of consent so as to try and get this behind us and keep moving.
And so you were saying that the plant then needs to be built within the next 6 years?
Correct.
So there's actually a whole bunch of different deliverables on there. In fact, so when they sent it to us, by the time they said they wanted to get us to reapprove it, we already had one of the deliverable items, which was August 17th. We went ahead and did that anyways. Keep pushing. It was a report we had to put up through Chamlin's and stuff like that. The next one we have on the list isn't until, I think, end of January. We have the long-term, but we already had that plan in place. But every, like, essentially 2 years, there is a piece that has to get completed
Sure.
for, like, you have to get the engineering plans complete, then there's funding, and then finally, construction has to be completed by 2028. So
Is that going to be a realistic and attainable?
I think
date?
it's,
Yes.
I think it's
Don
very,
seems to think it is, Carrie. Originally, that date was like 2024. And
Yeah.
we got it, we looked and said, there's no way we can get the property, get the financing, get it designed, and get all of that done by 2020.
yeah, a lot of the legwork
We
is,
did agree to move them out.
a lot of the legwork's gonna be in the early part here. Like, for example, right now, Chamlin's is going out with tests, and they're working together to find out which exact plant is the best one. They're looking at different ones, they're gonna come up with a review. They say pretty much they all don't make a difference of which one it is. I told them, I said, if it doesn't make a difference, if the cost is the same, can we get one that has the least moving parts? Because nothing but parts tend to break on these things.
Yes.
So, I don't think, I think it's a very reasonable timeline for us to give us that kind of time frame. I don't want to be ever put whatever administration's after us, whether it's us or whoever, to be under the gun for something like that. I want to give them plenty enough time and resources to be able to do all that stuff. So we're on schedule for stuff. If there's no other questions, I'd like to make a motion to approve 090721R1, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a revised administrative order on consent with the United States Environmental Protection Agency.
I'll
Second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. The next one is declare the dates of September 17th to 23, 2021, as Constitution Week, as requested by the Daughters of the American Revolution.
I will make a motion to declare the dates of September 17th through the 23rd, 2021 as Constitution Week as requested by the Daughters of the American Revolution.
Second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Next is payroll week proclamation. Whereas the American Payroll Association and its more than 20,000 members have launched a nationwide public awareness campaign that pays tribute to the nearly 150 million people who work in the United States and the payroll professionals who support the American system by paying wages, reporting working earnings, and withholding federal taxes.
I make a motion to declare the week of September 6, 2021 as National Payroll Week.
I'll second that.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. That says approved purchase of bulk water meters.
So I just got word before the meeting, there is a potential concern about how the meters are talking to each other. We thought we had that resolved. It might just be a hiccup or so. So until I can get more information, I'd like to see if we can just table this for at least one meeting until we make the bulk purchase. If there's no questions on that, I'd like to make a motion to table the approval of the purchase of the bulk water meters.
Second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Next, approve the purchase of replacement switchgear.
So this is from a couple weeks ago now when we had that, the burned up switchgear piece. All the pieces have been replaced inside and the circuits are running, but the switchgear cabinet itself still has some burn damage on it. When we put it in for the insurance is gonna cover it, but they said they want, I think the wording was they wanted to see an actual purchase invoice first for it, and then they'll give us the money. So as long as we're gonna get paid for it, that's why I put it up there to see if we can purchase about $31,000 worth of equipment altogether. So, any questions on that? I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of replacement switchgear.
Second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Approve solar application for Doug Noblock.
I looked through the schematics. It looks like they have everything in place of all the checklist of items. Again, this is one of the things we don't have I think, what is it? The wording in our ordinance says that the zoning administrator is the one that can approve these. Because we don't have an appointed zoning administrator, that's why it's up for a council vote. All this paperwork looks to be in order. I had the electric department look through it and stuff. I think this would only be the third person in the city that would actually get one of these up and running if we do approve it. Any questions, concerns?
The capacities were, I remember the last time we were talking about capacity compared to what they use and all that kind of stuff.
It's pretty small.
Okay.
It's in the realm of what it is.
All right. All right.
Yep.
That's all I need to know.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve the solar application for Doug Noblock.
I'll second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Approve raffle license for the LaSalle County Democrats. That's a raffle that they had, we checked with everybody, and he said it was okay to go ahead with it, so I need a motion and second to approve it.
I will make a motion to approve the raffle license for LaSalle County Democrats.
Second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Approve and vote to disclose those portions of the closed sessions verbatim recording in the May 20th, 2019 and April 20th, 2020 closed session meeting.
I can take this one too, John. So there was the citizens of Oglesby that requested that the Attorney General review the recordings of those two verbatim meetings. After much back and forth, originally we gave them the meeting minutes, then they wanted to listen to the recordings. The Attorney General's office came back and said, we don't find any problems except that the board did talk about a couple of things that were not encompassed in the reason they went into the executive session for. So I would caution the board to be very careful about that in the future. When you go into executive session, you can only talk about the things that you went into executive session to discuss. One of them, for instance, was in relation to how you're going to use the CARES funds, which you went right back in the regular meeting and So the only repercussion from talking about things that we probably shouldn't have in closed session is that this Attorney General's office wants those meeting minutes released. So we need a motion to approve and disclose those portions of those two meetings.
I will make a motion to approve and vote to disclose those portions of the closed session verbatim, reporting in May 2019 and April 2020 closed sessions.
Second.
Longbranch.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye. Old business. Hearing none, we'll go to public comments. God. Commissioners' reports.
I have nothing to report tonight, except the financials look great in Oglesby right now.
I
Karen?
would just like to thank everybody who did come out for the Cops for Cancer. It was a horribly hot day. People were melting out there, so we do appreciate the support. Everybody who I did see, though, were in very high spirits, so that just speaks to the people in Oglesby and how they are and who they are. I did not hear a final number, but even while the numbers were not there as far as people, I do know that there was a goodly amount of dollars that were made that were going back to Cops for Cancer, which is all used locally. So it goes right back to people in the community with need. As far as my other departments, the only thing I'm reporting tonight is the Officer of the Month is Randy Leninger. I did happen to see her in the dunk tank at Cops for Cancer, so not only is she doing her job on the streets, but she's doing it for the community as well. So congratulations, Officer Randy Leninger.
The only thing, I got two things. Street department. The street sweeper had a rod out to the brush mechanism that broke off, actually. So unfortunately, the streets are not getting swept right now. They're looking to get it repaired. Hopefully, it won't take too long. The important thing is that it is up and running before leaf vac starts, which I will have probably at the next meeting, the dates of when that's all going to start. The last thing I have is actually some good news. Electric department was able, finally, we've had the parts and stuff for a while, but things keep breaking around here, and we had to do a lot of things fixed. So the fire station backup generator is installed and operating right now. So we have that as a backup in case another derecho comes around or something like that. We have a backup means and everything. So that's all I got.
Kelly?
And nothing tonight.
I've got just a couple things. You may be wondering what's going on in Seneca Square. The city clerk has been given a budget by the Director of Finance and has met with heads of the Electric, Street, Water, and Parks Department and came up with a design that will be implemented in phases. Phases 1 will be installing lights, running water, and have a sizable concrete pad port that will allow for tables, chairs, benches, and places throughout the area. Post lights will be in the southern half of the square, and the northern half will remain grassy and have string lights throughout. Drinking fountain will be installed and a water line will be ran in anticipation of phase 2, which will include a fountain sculpture of some sort. Phase 3 will include to have porta potties installed and landscaping throughout the square. The city of Oglesby has also applied for 2 solar sites, one behind the fire station and one at IVCC. With the anticipation of the governor's plan to close all fossil generation by 2035 in Illinois, basically there won't be a base load generating station south of I-80. The city has got a meeting with Cabo, tomorrow, and that's basically to try to get the business organization back up and running. You know, it did a lot of good, and we need the business associations to get together and help us to generate foot traffic and to make Oglesby stronger. The only other thing that I get is, and I've been talking with Pat, I've been frustrated with some of our progress with uncapped properties. There's a lot at the end of Florence Street that's just a total mess. We've got some other problems with, you know, you write them a letter, they don't do anything. We just gotta have something with a little more teeth in it, so we can get some of these problems corrected. And that's all I got, and the next thing on the agenda is closed session to discuss the minutes of meetings lawfully closed under the Open Meetings Act, whether for the purpose of approval by the body of the minutes or semi-annual review of the minutes as mandated by 5-1 LCS 120/2 parentheses C's parentheses 21 and 51 LCS 120/2.06 parentheses D.
I will make that motion.
Second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Yasi.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Let me look through that thing. That's what I was looking for. It looks like we had, I took two of this one. I was like, what am I looking at here?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to look at.
Pardon?
If it's really, really, I'm just saying, if this is really, really good, we're gonna talk about this in December then, about the
That's
taxes.
kind of, we're gonna have some kind of a small fountain.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, is that how it works? I like it.
Pardon?
Good response, I guess.
Porta potties.
What is your time, when do people see the beginning of development planning for this?
Well, the lighting is going in now. Hopefully we'll be done with 2022. Or at least close to being completed. Behind the fire and ambulance station.
When you sign for resolutions, you can take that back.
Oh. You're welcome. That wasn't so bad. Yes.
Excuse me. Getting to be that time of year, huh, Doug? It is. By the way, I'll be gone the next 2 weeks. The wife and I are headed to Europe. Ah, very nice. Yeah, taking a belated 20th anniversary trip. The big 2-0 was last year at the height of the lockdown, so we wasn't going nowhere. But since then, we found some good deals, got the shot. We figured if we could do an anxious from instead of the hot money. Well, what do you think of Ireland? You need a one? I've never been. Not been to London. Well, not over Heathrow, but that doesn't count. But I have been to Ireland, and it's great.
You liking being on the road and stuff? Oh, sometimes I always think traveling gets annoying after a while. Is it always new places or the same places?
Cleveland flights, besides that.
Need a motion and second to go back into regular session?
I will make a motion to go back in regular session.
Second.
Augubright,
Aye.
Cullinan, Curran,
Aye.
Mieski,
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
I will make a motion to release the closed session meeting minutes from 1/18/2021, 2/1/2021, 3/1/2021, 3/15/2021, 4/19/2021, and 6/21/21.
Second.
Augubright,
Aye.
Cullinan, Curran,
Aye.
Mieski,
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
All right, well, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn.
You are.
Okay.
Second.
Mr. Augubright has made a motion to adjourn.
Aye.
Augubright,
Aye.
Cullinan, Curran,
Aye.
Mieski,
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Adjourned.